Alright, now, continuing on, this is my first YouTube video on here. I bought myself a camcorder off of eBay. It's official ballot of Bexar County. I just going to go over what's on my ballot. Let's see here. Straight Party, Republican, Democrat, or Libertarian Party. I myself am more likely a Libertarian, so I would check that. And for federal, it says President, Vice President, McCain, Palin, Obama, Biden, Barr, Root. For me, it was a toss-up between Barr and this new guy. Gosh, I forgot his name. It's sad. I'm gonna vote for someone who is so popular that I just found out today that he was a write-in candidate. Anyway, well, I'll get back to you with that in a second. I think it's what's his name? Jonathan Allen. I get to choose him as a write-in candidate because I don't like McCain because we don't need more of George W. Bush's policies. I don't like Obama because he voted for the corporate bailout along with John McCain. So because he wants to sell out, he doesn't get my vote. United States Senator Cornyn Noriega or Yvonne Adams Schick. I think I'll vote for Yvonne Adams. Cornyn's been in office too much. Accepts contributions from slumlords, just like with Barack Obama. So he's not getting my vote. Noriega, I haven't heard too much from him, but he's been in office for too long. Alright, comes down to United States Representative District 20. Robert Litoff, which I've never heard of before. Charles A. Gonzalez. He is the Mexican version of George W. Bush. He looks like him, except for he's browner, and he has a short fuse and seems retarded just like him. I wrote to him about the political calls I've been getting from Hillary Clinton's campaign. I've asked them not to call, and they continue to call and bother me and leave me 50,000+ messages. So that leaves me with this Michael Hidrogo, which I am going to vote for because he's the Libertarian candidate. I endorse Michael Hidrogo. And for Railroad Commissioner, it's no brainer. David Floyd. Michael Williams has been in there for ever since 1998. Bart Thompson, well, I haven't heard of him. And David Floyd, well, he's a new one. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Again, I would endorse Tom Oxford. Jefferson and Jordan, don't know too much about them. But I know the Libertarians usually stand up for people's rights and liberties. Justice of the Supreme Court, place 7. Again, no-brainer. David G. Smith. Justice of the Supreme Court, place 8. I would say Drew Shirley. It's time for a change. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Court of Criminal Appeals, place 3. Michael Ehlers. I endorse Michael Ehlers. Judge, Court of Criminal Appeals, place 4. Again, my endorsement goes to Dave Howard. Court of Criminal Appeals, place 9. William Bryan Strange II. State Senator, District 26. Letitia Van de Putte or Steve Lopez. Now, if you ever bitch and moan about your phone bills and your Texas Universal Service surcharge of $1 to $3 on your phone bill, you can blame Letitia Van de Putte for that. All these people in the west side of San Antonio don't have enough brains to realize that they're being taxed to death. Well, something must be in the water, or maybe they're smoking too much weed. So Steve Lopez would be my endorsement and my favorite choice. Now, if you remember correctly, back in 2000, David McQuaid Leibowitz ran against Letitia Van de Putte. And it was a big highlighted debate because McQuaid Leibowitz, he lived in the Dominion, and his office was on the west side of San Antonio, so he used his office address as a principal place of residence, so he can run against Van de Putte. And so Van de Putte pitched a big fit, and ever since then, I decided to move my registration into the west side of San Antonio, Precinct 2001, for the purpose of voting against her. Every time the election comes, even back then when I was a Republican, and even when I was not, I was more on the Libertarian side. State District 123, Mike Villavrio. Mike Villavrio, he's been pretty good. He's pretty much people-oriented, not the side of special interests. In fact, he was working on something to stop Hillary Clinton robocalls from contacting me. And I have a letter from him, which I'll show in another day. So even though he's unopposed, he gets my endorsement. Chief Justice, 4th Court of Appeals District. I would say I don't know either one. And since there's no Libertarian on the ballot, well, might as well leave that blank. 337th Judicial District Judge, Beckelman or Alewas. Again, no Libertarian on the ballot, no vote. District Judge, 57th Judicial District, Joe F. Brown Jr. Now, that's not the Joe Brown you see on TV in the courtroom today. That's some other unknown guy. And Antonia Ortega. Never heard of her. Again, leaving that blank. Same thing with Andy Morales. Has been in there ever since I was probably in grade school. Ditto for Gabriel. Martha Tanner. Oh, that name's been on the ballots since at least 1991. Roman, I'm going to skip through that. And keep on. Wow, I don't have to fill out a lot of paperwork this year. I'll be dang. And the same thing for Sheriff, of course. Ortiz is with the good old boys, and McKnight's a Republican. Sylvia Romo has been in there since 1993. Why can't someone try to run against her? I don't know, are they scared or what? JP number 1, Monica Lisa Calabrio. Forget it. Now, I'm going to vote for endorse Ruben C. Tejeda because he might be related to Frank Tejeda. And he did a lot of good work. And I would have to check that box. City of San Antonio special election. Can you believe this? They want to increase the term limits for mayor or member of city council to serve 4 two-year terms instead of 2 years. Why? You know, why can't they get a white-collar job like the rest of us? You know, being at San Antonio and being it's ultra-liberal, everyone thinks it's a sin to vote against something. And so they get taxed to death and nothing changes. So people like me have to go in there from out of counties to start voting against nonsense. I know it may or may not help, but, you know, hey, every little bit counts. It might be that one vote of a difference. And here's this little letter they sent me. And since there's a 10-minute time limit on YouTube, I'm going to have to cut this one off right now at 9:45. 9 minutes, 45 seconds. See you later.